All right, here's the 4 listings a month challenge. We're going to cover exactly how you can get 4 listings a month. So this is 1 listing per week, and add this to your bottom line. So every single month, if you're already at 4 listings a month, then you're going to be at 8 listings a month following this framework. All right. So first thing you got to know is, let's do the math, right? We got to know the closing rate. So to get to 4 listings a month, we need to calculate how many listings appointment do we need to get there. So for example, let's say your closing rate is 33%. Let's say 1 out of 3 listing appointments that you have, you get the listing, right? So this means that we need to have 12 listing appointments per month. All right. So I know a lot of you guys, like, your main bottleneck, your main obstacle is actually getting the foot in the door, right? And some of you guys have 50% closing rate and above. Now, keep in mind, I know some of you guys might say, Michael, I have like a 99% closing rate. Here's the thing. If you have a 99 closing rate, it's probably just coming from referrals, right? Because obviously these are like super warm. So you need to expand outside of your referrals and SOI to scale your business, right? Because getting 4 listings a month is doable with referrals, but not consistently, except if like you have an exceptional network and you've been in the game for like so long, or you are coming from an industry where you have like such a big network in the first place. But for all of us, the rest of us that don't have that, you need to like have a system in place to get cold prospects. And so that means that 12 listing appointments per month is 3 per week. Every single day when you wake up, you should be thinking about not what you're gonna eat for breakfast, not what is your name, or checking social media, TikTok, Instagram. You should be thinking about, how do I get 3 listing appointments per week? And you should track this all the time. You should know, if we're Monday, you should know, okay, I already have 1 booked for today, so I need 2 more. Now, when it comes like Thursday, you should know if you're on track or not. And then you should like double down, take more actions, scale up the ad spend or whatever. We're going to talk about the systems here in a minute, but just 2x the efforts, basically, right? The inputs to get the outputs we're looking for. Just keep this in mind. You should always obsess over like getting the number of listing appointments that you need to get the listings that you need. Because automatically, if you have more listing appointments, you're going to get more listings, right? So step number 2, you need to get back your time to have a real business, right? You need an automated or a delegated way to get 3 listing appointments per month, all right? And it must be scalable. So the way to get listings must be scalable. So what does scalable mean? If you look it up online on Google, it is the ability to be scaled or climbed, able to be changed in size or scale. This means it works at a small scale and also a bigger scale, okay? So the reason I'm showing you the definition is because it's like, we need to understand what scalable is, because not all methods of acquiring seller leads are scalable. And there are some methods that are more scalable than the others. And you need, as a realtor, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you need to be able to easily identify which methods are easily scalable. So here are the different options. The first one is YouTube ads. This is what we use with most of our clients right now, working extremely well to get listings right now. TikTok ads, doing content, so organic content, creating content on YouTube, social media like Facebook, Instagram, email newsletter, blogs, whatever. LinkedIn automation, so that's like one of our secret sauce that we use with our clients to expand their network and get leads through automation. Facebook outreach, so reaching out to prospects, local homeowners in your area from Facebook groups, sending them friend requests, inviting them to be a friend with you, inviting them to your Facebook group that you create for local homeowners or looking to sell or looking to buy in the area, and reaching out to them by sending them a quick message on Facebook. Now, the other way is delegated cold calling. So remember how I talked about it needs to be either automated or delegated. So the cold calling can't really be automated, so you need to have someone doing that. Now, a lot of people think that cold calling is not scalable, but it actually is. But this is one of the methods that is like the least scalable. It's hard to scale. So how you would do that is get cold callers, build a team of cold callers. If you're crushing it on the phone and every time you spend like 2 hours on the phone, you get a listing appointment for sure, but the only bottleneck is, by the way, guys, I'm talking about bottleneck, but let me show you what I mean when I say bottleneck. For you to understand what I mean by bottleneck, we have, let's say, 4 steps in scaling your business. Step number 1, 2, 3, and 4. where is the bottleneck? The bottleneck is in step number 3. This is where all the water is accumulating, and then it can't really go through smoothly to process number 4 because here it's too small. Right? So this is the bottleneck. This is the thing that we need to fix. So when I say bottleneck with cold calling will be you're spending too much time on the phone. You literally cannot spend 12 hours per day on the phone cold calling because you're going to serve your clients as well, follow up with leads and stuff like that. And you also need like a personal life if you don't want to burn out. So the bottleneck with the cold calling system is your time. How do you get more time? You hire more people to do the activity. So you're basically buying time. Now you open up the floodgates. So that process number 3 is not the bottleneck anymore. Okay, so this is how you scale the process. Now you can get 4 listings a month through cold calling. I'm not telling you, hey, go do YouTube ads or TikTok ads because this is what we do with our clients. I'm telling you, find a process that already works with you and scale that. Right? Find the bottleneck and then fix the bottleneck. So that's pretty much what I mean by bottleneck. Now, how I would go about it, just to, I'm just like giving you information. If you're already doing cold calling and you want to scale cold calling, find people that are cold caller on Upwork or do LinkedIn job posts. Okay. These are 2 free methods to hire people. I use them all the time, and basically hire ISAs or cold callers that don't have any accent. Now, you don't have to hire someone like from the Philippines, for example. Get someone local and give them a base salary plus 5% of listing closed. The reason why we're doing that is because, some people will tell you pay them on appointment. Per appointment booked or per listing appointment booked, whatever. Don't do that because you're incentivizing the person to book as many appointments as possible. And they could book listing appointments that are not really qualified or are not really interested in selling in the first place, which we don't want. The ultimate thing that we want is sales, transactions. And how we get that is by only meeting people that are actually looking to sell. So if you're giving them 5% or $50 per meeting, for example, they're going to try to book as many meetings as possible because this is how they, make more money. And you could have, listing appointments that are like just CMAs and they're not really looking to sell. So anyways, give them 5% on listing closed, on deal closed. That way your risk is lower. Give them a base just so they can, pay off their mortgage and feed their family and stuff like that. But then 5% on deal closed. Okay. Now, what's hard to scale? Door knocking and flyers. I just don't think you can actually scale that really well. Reason that is because door knocking, you'd have to like literally hire a team to go do door knocking. It's super hard to track. Cold calling, at least you can have software to track the KPIs, how many calls were done every day, how many appointments were set, everything like that. Door knocking, you can't really do that. So I don't like that system. I don't believe in it. I think it could work if you're just starting out, but honestly, I think it's just a waste of time because why implement a system that cannot be scaled in the first place? You're going to have to switch to one of these anyway later on. After that, flyers, there's only so many flyers you can send to someone. And anyways, most flyers get thrown in the trash anyway, so I don't believe in that. You might see these systems, I call them mechanism, right? Because they're just like a lead mechanism, a way to get more leads and be like, hey, Michael, I already tried TikTok and it didn't work for me. Then you probably weren't tracking all your numbers, right? To identify the issue. When I say issue, I should really say bottleneck because it's always a bottleneck. There's always something that is like blocking you from getting to your goal. And if you show me all your numbers, let's say you were to track all your numbers from A to Z in the entire sales process that you were using with TikTok, I could tell you literally in less than 5 minutes exactly where was the problem. And then I could give you like 3 ideas to fix this problem instantly. Basically, this is why you want to use a tracker. Once you have a proven mechanism that actually delivers results, you want to track every step of the funnel, every action that leads towards getting the appointment. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. We have this tracker right here that we give to our clients. If you want it, comment down below and we will send it to you for free, where we track everything from A to Z. This is a YouTube tracker and a Facebook ad tracker. By the way, I don't really believe that much in Facebook ads anymore. YouTube ad is definitely the way to go as I'm recording this video. So we're tracking how much we're spending every day, the impressions, the reach, how many clicks, the CTRs, the click-through rate, how many leads. It calculates how many, the cost per lead automatically, how many calls, conversations, everything from A to Z. I am guaranteeing you, if you've tried a system before, you didn't have these numbers. And oftentimes what happens, I'm victim of this as well, is let's say we start a new system, like I'm trying YouTube ads. If it doesn't work, then we just don't know why, because we don't have these numbers. Once we have the numbers, it gives us clarity. Otherwise, we're like, well, I tried, it didn't really work. So now what? Let me try something else. But you didn't learn anything from that because you don't know why it didn't work. You want to always find out as the entrepreneur, as the realtor, exactly why it didn't work or why it's not working to fix the bottleneck. And then once you fix that, then everything else will work. So just focus on this. And then I'm telling you, at the end, you're going to see we're tracking the closing rate and the cash return on investment and revenue return on investment. You're going to see that number go up. So the goal is to get your return on investment. You want to see where in the funnel, imagine like this, like the vertical process of like the water flowing through is basically this. So the step number one is here. Step number one is here. And then like here in this image, there's only 4 steps, but here there's like, I don't know, 30 steps. So just imagine this is the same thing, from left to right, from top to bottom, same thing. You want to identify what stat is not good and then work on improving that stat. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments below. So if you, tried this mechanism before and it didn't work and you tracked all your numbers, it might actually be because your market is too saturated with this mechanism. For example, if you've noticed, I didn't put Facebook ads in here because for 99% of you guys, Facebook ads is just too saturated. Like too many realtors are advertising on it and too many people are like seeing bullshit real estate ads and are clicking on it, putting like fake information. So this is why I don't like it. And it's just too saturated. So just switch the platform you're advertising on. Okay. So I would try all the other platforms above. If you're like already tried, for example, doing content and it's not really producing results, just try all of them out. Okay. Just give them a shot and see what works best for you. I'm not telling you to do YouTube ads specifically or LinkedIn automation. Just give it a shot. Maybe you don't like social media at all and you're just a god on the phone and maybe you like cold calling. So just do that. Or if you're like me and you prefer creating something that you create once and you can run on autopilot like YouTube ads, then just do that, right? Just give them all a shot. And then afterwards, just pick one. Pick the one that works for you. Step number 3 in getting 4 listings a month consistently is once you crack the formula yourself, right? Let's say you're running YouTube ads, you're getting leads, you're getting listing appointments consistently. Remember, 3 listing appointments per week is going to be 12 appointments per month. If you get that and you close 1 out of 3, you're already at 4 listings per month. So once you have that, you need to scale it vertically, okay? Not horizontally. Now, what does that mean? Let's check the definition, okay? So vertical scaling, aka scaling up, is adding additional resources to a system so that it meets demand. Okay, this is the best way I can explain it to you. Vertical scaling is just increasing what you're already doing. So if you're spending 30 bucks a day right now on YouTube ads and you're getting listings, then just spend 100 bucks per day on ads. And then you're gonna get like literally 3 times the number of listings. It works that way, guys. This is how we scale a company, through vertical scaling, not horizontal scaling, because you want to max out the system first before adding another mechanism. So horizontal scaling would be, I've started running YouTube ads, I got a listing, let me try doing TikTok ads. Biggest mistake ever. You're taking your focus and your money away from what got you the result in the first place, while you didn't even exhaust the possibilities of scale with the first mechanism. So you want to crank that out as much as possible once you get results, right? And I'm showing you the example with YouTube ads, but could be this or it could be this as well. Okay, just max it out to the limit. And then afterwards, once you max it out, then you can add another thing. The biggest mistake I see is like realtors doing cold calling here and there. They send out flyers, they try door knocking, they try Facebook ads, they do a bit of video, they're not consistent. They like all over the place, so nothing is really working. They don't even know themselves what's bringing them the listing. So just cut everything else and focus on what works, okay? So the only time you can like actually like dabble around and like do multiple things at once is at the beginning when you're testing out all these methods to see what works best for you. Once you see results from one of them, cut the other ones and focus on this one, okay? And scale it vertically like this. Just ramp it up. Next up, we got step number 4 in getting 4 listings a month is to track all your numbers. I already talked about this, but I just wanted to share this with you. This is one of our clients, Wesley. He's working with Nigel. I did the whole interview on our channel, how he got 14K in GCI in the span of a few days only after joining our program. He basically said that he's never felt more in control of his business in his entire life, right? And he's been a broker for a while. So He said that after he was able to track all of his numbers, because when you have, and by the way, this is a screenshot, 100%, like Wesley's his marketing assistant, just had a meeting with Nigel and he says he's never felt more in control of his business. So you need to be able to take logical decisions, right? If you don't have your numbers, you're like always guessing. Yeah, I think it works. Let's do it. You're not really confident in like scaling something up. But now, like Nigel right here, he's like so confident in increasing the ad spend, how much he's spending to get more leads, because he sees the numbers all make sense. He's profitable. He's making money for sure. And he knows how much he's making because he's tracking it every single day. So by the way, the tracker thing applies if you're doing anything else, like the cold calling. You got to track how many dials your team does or you are doing, how many prospects actually pick up the phone and call and like actually talk to you, and how you can know if they're like talking to you. You can use a software that tracks how many calls are longer than 1 minute. You can track how many like you have later leads, like leads that are telling you, I'm not interested right now, but maybe in the future. Track how many you got of these, how many appointments booked, straight up no's, like I'm not interested at all, like F you, don't call me ever. How many hours worked, and all the percentages for all of these, right? So you want to know the conversion from like dial to pickup, from pickup to conversation that's 1 minute or more, etc., etc. For YouTube ads, I'll give you like the, real quick ones, but same thing I showed you when it tracked like the CTR, click-through rate, opt-in rate, booking rate, cost per lead, cost per appointment, and cost per acquisition. Really important, guys. It doesn't matter the cost per lead. Like I know a lot of companies are like, oh yeah, I'll get you a lead for like $2 a lead. Man, I don't care about your $2 lead. Like I want to know how much it's costing me to get a listing. Like, if I have like 1,000 $2 leads, but they're all trash and I get 0 listings, but I paid like, $2,000 or 20 grand to get nothing, then I'm just basically wasting my money. And even if I got a listing, it's not really profitable. So step number 5, once you have all of that, you have your numbers, you have 3 listing appointments per week, then what you want to do is to hire someone to delegate this to, okay? So that you can remove yourself from the scalable process. So the thing here that's important is that at first you want to do this thing yourself, right? Until you're in KPI. So KPI means key performance indicator, meaning you want to make sure you're profitable. You're spending 1,000 per month on YouTube ads, you want to get back 5,000 per month. That is profitable. That is like in KPI. Let's say you're spending 10 grand and you got 0 back, then you're definitely not in KPI. So like, don't delegate this, because if you delegate this to someone else in your team, I'm talking like in your team, I'm not talking about hiring an expert to help you go through that process, then everything else will just be worse. I used to do this all the time where like I tried to delegate something to someone I hired in my team internally, like an employee, and I didn't even know how to do the thing myself. So I was like, that's why I'm hiring you, figure it out. But then it just always backfire because like they don't really know what to do. And then I'm frustrated because I don't know what to tell them what to do, and we're not getting the results. So I'm like mad at them, but in reality, I should be mad at myself because I didn't even tell them what to do in the first place. So granted, there's a few exceptions for this depending on the role, but in general, you want to do everything yourself, right? To crack this. Now, once you have it, like let's say managing ads. Once you understand the process of like, recording ads on YouTube, managing the ads a little bit, then you can remove yourself, have, for example, your admin help you manage these ads. That way you're actually removed and their business is running like a well-oiled machine while you're chilling like on the beach or whatever, right? Doesn't have to be that, but you get my point. The next thing you should work on in the business is to fix the next bottleneck, because at some point, once you delegate that, let's say the management of the ads, something else will break. You'll have too many leads to handle, for example. So that will be the next bottleneck. You'll have, instead of like process number 3, bottleneck will be process number 4. So you have too many leads. What do? Then you need to work on hiring an agent. So this is where you start building a team and stuff like that. So one thing I've learned from a guy, I paid 50 grand USD. So since I'm in Canada, it's like 65 grand or something for me, is you should always just be working on fixing the biggest bottleneck in the company as the entrepreneur and the CEO. And once it's fixed, you should just move on to the next one and the next one, but not all of them at once. Just focus on one thing, fix it, and move on to the next one. So yeah, just side note, this is the biggest thing I've learned from like paying that guy 50K. He's making $1 million a month in profit. So yeah, I didn't take that advice lightly at all. If you want help putting all these systems in place, then you can book a time with myself or one of my team members down below, and we're happy to walk you through how we're consistently doing that, adding 4 listings per month for our realtors through these systems, adding KPIs, automation, and removing you from the business so you can keep scaling your real estate business even when you're not working.